Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. 8 refreshing warm weather fragrances. I'm going to be honest, I am not a big fan of freshies. I prefer something a little bit sweet, maybe spicy, even floral over freshies. However, the harsh reality of the world is for like 5 or 6 months of the year, it gets pretty darn hot, especially these days. And so, yeah, like I have over 100 fresh fragrances in my collection just out of sheer necessity. I do get criticized a lot for being like very strict when it comes to when to wear your fragrances. It's not that I'm strict. It's that I spend an awful lot of money on fragrances and I want to wear them at the best time possible, get the most out of them, because yeah, it's not a cheap hobby. And I live in Canada, and over the next 5 or 6 months, it is going to be hot. Great time to be refreshed and wear fresh fragrances. Let's get to it. Fragrance number 1, this is Acqua di Gio Profumo by Armani. And boy, did this cause a stink at Armani when it got discontinued. This finished first in Fragrantica voting's greatest marine fragrance of all time. And the new fragrance that came out to replace this finished 17th. This has an incense note in it that does a number of things. It makes it a little darker. It makes it a little more masculine. And the incense note was removed, which I think was a big mistake. Now, it does come with a magnetic cap as well, which the new one doesn't, but the incense note's a big deal. And it's not just fragrance people that didn't like it. It had to be the general public because Armani are coming out with a new Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum, and they just released one 2 years ago, but they got a new one coming out in 2024 that has the incense note. It has a little bit of a darker bottle. That's because incense works. This fragrance has the Acqua di Gio DNA, which is the most popular men's fragrance DNA of all time. And this is the most iconic of the Acqua di Gio fragrances. The great thing is, if you don't have this, it's been discontinued, so it's pricey now, you can get the new Eau de Parfum. Fragrance number 2, this is Azzaro's Chrome United. And when it comes to blue fragrances, especially like moderately to low price ones, this is my favorite because it has a tea and musk combination, very popular in the late 90s, early 2000s. It comes off as quite soothing. United has a lot of violet leaves, so it's a fresher version. Then you've got Chrome Legend, which is a fruitier version of the tea and musk combo. But this is of a different time. You can tell because they've come out with a new Azzaro Chrome Legend, but the new one doesn't have tea and musk. It has patchouli and orange essence. They're going for that bitter orange patchouli combination. This is not such a modern fragrance, but the tea musk combo was super popular for like 20 years. I really like it. I get great performance with this little beauty. And the price, it's fresh and the price is right. Fragrance number 3, this is Rasasi Hawas. And I mentioned I don't like fresh fragrances, but this one comes with a caveat because there's a fruity quality to this and a sweet quality to this that is quite different than your usual fresh fragrance. This is famous for smelling like Invictus Aqua 2016, but there's plum and apple. That gives it the fruitiness. Then there's also a little bit of spiciness, believe it or not. Cinnamon and cardamom is in here as well. It's got great performance, but it's sweeter. It's sweeter than your standard fresh fragrance, and it performs better on my skin. I get crazy, like 8 hours longevity with this. This is kind of a classic. It used to be super inexpensive. I think I paid $40 for this when I got it 2.5 years ago. It ain't $40 now. Fragrance number 4, this is Montblanc Explorer. And this is a perfect example of a fresh fragrance that does not perform on my skin. There's a few people I've talked to, handful, where it doesn't work for them either in terms of performance. However, This is a huge compliment puller for most people. This is actually a high quality fragrance. It is a slightly more toned down version of Aventus. It is a woodier version. If you're going by the batches, it still smells really nice. There's still plenty of, well, Montblanc call it bergamot. They don't lie about their note breakdown, which I appreciate. They put bergamot in here with a little bit of sweetness to give it a pineapple feel. You can still really smell it. It smells really nice. Problem is when I put this on my skin, it doesn't perform. But I am not the arbiter of what a good fragrance is. So many people love Montblanc Explorer. So many people get great performance with it. So yeah, number 4. Fragrance number 5, this is Theoreme by Broco, and I really like this one. The only flaw with this fragrance I find, it's a $25 Bvlgari Tygar clone, and the only flaw is it's very difficult to find. I looked for it around Christmas, couldn't find it anywhere. Eventually I got lucky. Before the video, I went online to see if I could find it, and oddly enough, you can get it at FragranceNet at the moment. The problem being that you're going to pay $32 instead of the usual $25, but at least it's available there. It's not available anywhere else. It's a lot of citrus and amber. There's some musk there too, but it's an ambery citrus, a little bit of sweetness. Now this has a lot of sweetness, whereas this has a little bit, and it's just a really great fragrance if you can get your hands on it. Performance is good. It's not exceptional, but it's very solid. The bottle itself, it's an attractive bottle, but when you get it, it is kind of cheap. But for $25, like, this is a steal. This is one I think a lot of people should try and pick up before the summer, maybe right now. Next up, we have Calvin Klein's Eternity, and this is a fragrance. I bought a 30 ml, and I stuck it at the back of my fragrance cabinet, mainly because I needed it for reference. I didn't want to have a lot. I just wanted to get an idea what was so popular. This came out in 1990, by the way. And yeah, I kept it for reference. Haven't tried it in a year and a half. Broke it out 2 days ago. I'm like, whoa, I really like this. The performance has gotten better over time. This is an older bottle, so it's had a chance to macerate. Performance is okay. It was really bad there for a while. But yeah, this is a fragrance that just works. Next up, we have Nautica Voyage Heritage. Now, I have raked Nautica Voyage over the coals on my channel a couple times. This one, I will not be raking over the coals because I quite like this. Now, Nautica Voyage is a blue, sort of fresh fragrance with green leaves. So it has a green, little bit bitter quality. This, on the other hand, is, a fresh fragrance with herbal notes. Think lavender, rosemary, that kind of thing. And I much prefer this. It still has the Nautica Voyage performance, which is very good. It has the Nautica Voyage price. At the moment, you can get this on FragranceNet for just over $16 US, which is crazy good because it's got good performance. So yeah, when it comes to Nautica Voyage, like, ultimately the quality around Nautica Voyage is not great, the atomizer, the cap, whatever. But when it comes down to a fragrance, it's the scent that matters. This scent I really like. Yes, it is a little bit different than Nautica Voyage, but in some cases like mine, it's better. Finally, we have Haramain's Amber Oud Rouge. Now, I'm a big fan of Haramain's Amber Oud line. The name is misleading. There's no oud in any of these fragrances. Just oud is popular in the Middle East, so they stick a lot of names and put oud in it. But yeah, this is a good clone line. This particular one is cloning Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. The quality here in terms of packaging, presentation, atomizer, everything is very good, and so is the juice. Now, this is one of the more expensive versions of the Amber Oud line, mainly because it's popular, like Baccarat Rouge 540, the EDP, not the Extrait de Parfum, the EDP, that's popular. So the price, it's a little pricier here, but the quality of this line is good. The quality of the juice is good too. This is probably my most accurate BR540 clone, and I get really good, like 8 hours performance, which is essentially a fresh fragrance. So it is kind of a mildly sweet fresh fragrance. You're going to get ambroxan, which has got amber in it, and then you're going to get amberwood, which also has amber in it, and then you're going to get a lot of saffron. So it's not citrus fresh, it's saffron fresh. Great performance. Yeah, really good. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.